So we are getting closer and closer to the release date of this new 2025 Dodge Charger. And with that being said, we're starting to see more and more pictures come out of this car out in the wild and things of that nature, right? We've seen this car in a new color, in the all black on black color, different from the original kind of like gray color that we've seen here or whatnot. Recently, we've seen this car sporting something new on the car that we haven't seen before, or at least we haven't noticed on pictures before. Of course, it's riding around in Detroit and things of that nature because, of course, that's where it's being tested at. But let's hop into the video and talk about what was noticed on this car this time and my thoughts on it right here. So let's go ahead and hop into the video. Today's video is brought to you by CarLock, the world's best GPS tracking and alert system. With CarLock, you'll be able to get various alerts to monitor your car, such as vehicle movement, vehicle vibrations, engine starting. The unfortunate event that your CarLock gets disconnected, you will get an alert for that too. You can purchase your own CarLock by clicking on the link down below. That will give you a 10% discount on your CarLock purchase, as well as use my code to get a 14-day free trial with CarLock as well. Get you a CarLock, you deserve that peace of mind. Let's get into the video. YouTube family, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, do a lot of car related things on this channel that you are viewing at the moment. Make sure you subscribe and get locked in for all the stuff we have going on this channel, all the car content we have here. And if you've already subscribed, I want to appreciate y'all. Salute to y'all for already subscribing to the channel. But we will not hold you too long. Let's hop into today's video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. So like I stated at the top of the video, this 2025 Dodge Charger is starting to be spotted more and more and more as we get closer to the release of this car, because it's still doing some final testing on this car, and that's kind of normal with any kind of new release, right? They're going to be testing it and trying to make sure everything works on the car. Granted, in some cases they do miss things and things happen, but they're still testing this car. As I stated, we mentioned when the car was first revealed, it was in this kind of grayish, smoke showish type color and whatnot, right? And that was kind of the only color we've seen that car, right? We've seen that car spotted driving around Detroit, all of that type of stuff. And then we finally got a new color of the car. We've seen this car in all black, the black on black that we talked about on the channel before. And so pretty much those are the only colors we've seen in this car. And each time we're seeing a little bit of differences with the car and certain things they're trying to test and whatnot. But now we have this car spotted again, and this time it is sporting something different on the car that we have not seen in previous videos. And this is a feature that this car is supposed to have, or is an option, as I should say. But this is the first time we actually have seen it in the wild with this particular feature on the car. So let me show y'all a couple of new spy photos that we do have of this 2025 Dodge Charger. So I'm going to put the pictures up here, let you get like a closer look at what we're actually looking at here with this particular car. So the first picture here, and one thing you can notice from the thumbnail of the picture as well, that this car is sporting two different colors for whatever reason. It has that original color that we saw the car when it was released, and this is the rear end shot of it right here. That's that original color that we saw when the car was first officially revealed as kind of the closer to the production version, not the one that they unveiled back a couple years back or whatnot. I think it's been a couple years now. Not that one. This is actually the that color their first official photos of the car. So you can see that destroyer gray color over the whole car, but except for the front and rear bumpers. So you see the front and rear bumpers are kind of like a billet silver type color or what have you. It's hard to tell if they're unpainted or not, but looking at the gloss on it, I think this is actually could be one of the colors that this car could come in. I don't think it's just kind of unfinished metal or anything like that. I think this is kind of actually primed and painted and all that type of stuff. So we're gonna go through the pictures here. So this is kind of the main thing that I want to show you guys here. We've seen this car in a lot of spy shots. We've seen this car in some videos and things like that, driving down the street and what have you. But this is, I think, it's the first time we actually get a clear view of the sound box of this car, the whole Fratzonic chamber that this car It's not going to come with it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be an option where you can get it with or without it, or maybe add it later through direct connect or whatever, right? If you're not familiar with this, is going to be probably one of the only EV cars on the market that's going to have that it does have this Fratzonic chamber, which is the only car that has this particular style exhaust on it. It's exhaust, I use that term loosely because it's just a speaker box, but you can see it here, and you can probably see, if you see closer, you can see right above the little vents at the bottom, right below the bumper, you can see that it says Fratzonic. So that is what is going to give this car an actual sound of it. I also want to mention this here: what will this car exactly sound like? To be honest, Dodge doesn't even know as well. Before Tim left, he didn't mention that they have changed the sound like 100 times, so they don't know what exactly want to make this car sound like. They had the original sound when it came out, when they first unveiled it at Roadkill Nights a couple of years back, and that came with that weird vacuum cleaner type sound like the car from the Wraith movie, if you're familiar with that, and people was like, what is this? And then it came back out a little bit later, had a different sound to it, more of a true V8 sound. So they still don't know what this car is going to actually sound like here. So that is kind of yet to be seen, but probably in the next few months here, we're probably going to get an idea of what it's actually going to sound like, or they could just hold on to it until right before the car is released and let us know what it's going to sound like. But hopping into some of the other pictures that you see here, another picture of the back of the car here is, again, you can see kind of the different colors of the trunk lid and the rear bumper cover there, as well. You can see a whole kind of picture of that whole Fratzonic chamber exhaust, which it seems like it's got to take up that whole bottom diffuser piece there, it appears. So you can see it turning here, and that's another picture of it there with the fuel / charging port door open. Still, this is the two-door version. This is clearly the EV version here. Another picture of it here, still in that same color that we saw originally when the car was released. Well, not released officially, but the official first photos from Dodge there. And another kind of side profile, you can see right here that front and rear bumper, all the ones have been totally changed out from the original color. And you see it again there. And you can see here, more of a clearer picture here, that the front bumper is a totally different color from the rest of the car. So the main question here is, like, we're looking at all these pictures, I think that with the bumpers being a different color from the rest of the car looks like it's been through a takeover or something like that, to be completely honest. The bumpers don't match the color of the car and whatnot. But in all reality, we know that's not the case. This car is definitely, they changed out the front and rear bumpers for a reason here. And I think we can, and this is kind of speculation here, because with the rear bumper being changed to a different color, I think it does have to do with the sound system of this particular car. As you can tell from one of the other shots, that Fratzonic chamber takes up that whole thing on the bottom, the whole diffuser area on the bottom of that car. And I'm pretty sure it may have some inner workings to do with the rear bumper as well. And of course, if they're trying to make this car sound like a normal internal combustion engine, trying to make it sound like a Hemi or whatnot, you can't just have all the sound coming out the back of the car. My speculation with this is, with the front bumpers being changed as well, I'm thinking that there's going to be some sound coming out the front of the car also, because if you stand in front of one of these cars, you're going to be able to hear some sound come out from the front of the engine bay. So I'm thinking what they're going to do here is that they're going to have some kind of fake sound, whatever it is, coming out the front of the car, and they may have to change out the bumper to accomplish that. Now again, what this car is going to sound like, no one knows, as they have changed the sound hundreds of times. They may be confused about how to make this car sound good. I mean, of course, use a V8, but do they want to make it sound just like the image we have now? They don't want to refine that sound of the V8 that they have and make it sound like a little bit different V8. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to make this car sound different. Do you want to make it sound like a cam V8, or what have you? Or if they could be having 100 sounds and you can just download new sounds as part of the Direct Connect catalog when you get this sound bar added to your EV vehicle, which is going to be kind of wild, that people are going to be downloading sounds for their car. That's going to be weird. And then how do you make it louder? Like, do you get like a bigger amplifier or something for it? I'm like, I always wondered, like, can you make it louder? Can you make it quieter? Like, is there like a volume for it? It's gonna be wild times we're living in with this. And so those are kind of like some of the new pictures that we see of this car here. And I expect us to see more and more pictures of this car as the testing continues. Probably different things added to the car, what have you. Now, does this kind of change my mind on the look of the car? I will say this, and this is something I probably haven't said a lot in the previous videos. I'm trying my best to reserve judgment on what this car looks like. I know I've been giving this car a hard time because the design is so different from what we're accustomed to, and it's just like you going from the current car how it looks now to that, and nothing about the cars look common at all. And I mentioned that I wish there was something that linked those cars together or what have you. But with all that being said, we've only seen it in pictures. I haven't seen it in person. I haven't even seen the concept model in person, so I really don't have a good idea of how the body lines actually look in person. I know pictures can only tell part of it, and not really show the true sense of what this car looks like. And on top of that, with the pictures, we've only seen the car in like 2 different colors. So maybe these aren't even the best colors of the car. Maybe these aren't even the best features of the car that you can put on there. So there's still a lot to be unveiled about this car. And let's be completely honest here. If this car came with a V8, I 100% believe more people would not care about this car and saying how it looks. People will probably will more likely like the car and be like, it comes with a V8, I'm with it. It's finally the design that we're looking to get right. You get the 2-door, the 4-door Charger, all that type of stuff. I will say the interior looks amazing. I'm not sure that's going to be the top of the line interior, or will all the cars look the same on the interior there. I mean, it's gonna look the same, but you know, a Hellcat interior, there's a lot of things that's in the Hellcat interior versus the V6 that the V6 doesn't have. So there's different options. Every manufacturer does that. Their top of the line cars get all the special options and things like that that the lower trim cars typically don't get. And I wonder, in this case, the interior that we've been seeing with this new 2025 Dodge Charger, I wonder like how specced out is it? Is it top of the line? Is there some things missing out of it, and what have you, right? I don't want to be one of the people that call it ugly all the time, and then when I see it, completely change my mind. I'm trying to save as much judgment for the car until I see it in person. I will say in pictures it does look kind of plain, but you know, like I said, there could be different options for the car. There could be better colors that this car could come in that will really set this car off. And then that's one thing they haven't talked about. We know they're gonna go with your basic colors like black, white, gray. Colors every car come in, but what are those other colors out there that are going to have this car in? You know, Dodge is really, really big on really bright, vibrant colors, like the bright, like your Sublimes, your Plum Crazy, your Torres, your Hellraiser, stuff like that. Really bright colors, cinnamon stick. I don't want to try to leave anybody out. They really like these bright colors, right? And we haven't seen this car in a bright color just yet. I think the brightest color we've seen this car is in that kind of like octane type red that it was at one of the, I think it was like SEMA show or something like that. But that's kind of the brightest color we've seen this car come in. But like I said, I'm trying to save judgment on this car till I see it in person. I can kind of really assess what these body lines are doing and what this car actually looks like. But my thoughts on the speaker for the EV, it's a weird concept for sure. It's something different than a lot of EVs are doing. And it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right making an EV sound like a V8. But if more people go to EVs and they're trying to make these cars, you know, more appealing to car enthusiasts who like that sound, then you might see more and more cars doing. I think there's another car that does have some sort of a sound too. I think it's a Hyundai. That's an EV. I think they added some sort of 4-cylinder engine sound to it or something like that. So it's not uncommon that more cars are going to be doing this, but it still, you know, just feels weird. And that's going to wrap up today's video, man. Just want to show these pictures and kind of share these pictures that I've seen of this particular car and kind of point out some different things with it. Overall, not a lot of changes to this car. No different wheel options. Still haven't seen a new color on it, which I don't expect to see a new color on this car until the car releases. But that's where we at with this car, and they have the Fratzonic chamber on there, which they look like they had to replace the front and rear bumpers to do so, probably because of the sound system and how much space they need to do so. And those bumpers may be specially constructed on the inside of it to accommodate that a little bit more. So once that comes out, we probably know more about how that whole thing works, how much it's going to cost, because they're not going to give you the sound for free. It's more than likely going to be an option that you can add on, and then from there download new sounds for your car, which is going to be insane to me if you ask. Imagine having to pay an extra like $100 or $200 or $300 because you want your car louder, and you have to download the sound to it, which is insane. Imagine revving your car and blowing the speaker. Imagine doing a pull and you get feedback or something crazy. I don't know, man. it's wild. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the car here. How do you feel about this Fratzonic sound chamber that's going to be a Fratzonic exhaust that's going to be on the car? I know, I don't know how people are talking about it like it's like the bike with the, you know, the card in the spokes type of thing, which it kind of is, but they're trying. They're trying to make this EV feel like a muscle car. Even put the whole transmission interruption as you go to shift and things like that. You know, with these cars, when you shift them, they jerk. They tried to put that in there as well. So let me know your thoughts on the car so far right now. And if you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We do a lot of car stuff on the channel. We talk cars. We do a lot of all of that. So make sure you lock it in so you're around for everything we got going on. We will catch you on the next video. We are out. Cut it.